I would prefer that Kristin not
we
expose you to anything.
What episode is this? Where are we? What country is this? I don't know where I am.
Rich has been gone for some time. Rich, have a cut. Tell you.
Are we on?
Are we going?
Are we going?
What episode?
Oh yeah, what are we?
Episode 47.
But here it's like legit. First, smell it. It really smells like cotton candy. Sorry, I smelled your grape.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
I've already had them.
I know, but
and
it's so crazy.
You got these at Kroger's?
No way.
No.
You know
Publix.
what I got.
Walmart?
Walmart. No, Publix.
You don't like them?
No.
Do you like sour grapes?
Here, this one's a little firmer. I think you got a bad one.
It smells like cotton candy,
It
but
does-
it
and
definitely does not taste like cotton
You don't think so? I think certain.
They're sweeter than regular grapes, I think.
But my thing is, this says non-GMO, but there's no way you can make a grape taste like cotton candy without something
Those are not good. Those don't even...
You can get them away now. That's a little intense.
I don't like that at all. That's not even like a good grape.
That's a very... It's sweet and unique.
See, it didn't taste sweet at all to me.
There
may be something genetic there. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like someone needs to tell us if there's some deal about them.
They're very expensive, too.
He just slung them over there in the chair.
I would not waste my money on those.
I mean, that could be a good alternative to, people eating cotton candy, though. Just have a grape.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I like them, but I don't like sour grapes.
Sorry, I don't like those. Those are gross. I'm extremely disappointed. Everybody's been talking those things up.
I'm sorry.
That was a letdown.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'll bring you real grapes next time.
Started off the
Publix.
podcast on a bad foot.
Let down.
I quit.
It's
All
not
that
a
goes together.
I'm leaving. Can I tell you another real life story?
I quit this whole podcast just because of those
Cotton candy
stupid
grapes.
grapes.
So you know how we talked about the fire alarm last time?
Yes.
I've got a real life story
No, I don't.
and then I want you to hear Kristin's real life story because she made me laugh so hard.
What
the other
real
day.
life story? I don't even remember.
It's about the.
Oh. That was a good sound effect.
So
Hey, welcome back, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Glad you're home safe.
Me
You're
too.
live.
we want to hear
I'm
all
glad.
about it. And,
There's not much to hear. There's
yeah,
a lot of planes,
I didn't-
trains, automobiles, and 17 seminars.
What was the best part?
It was fun to hang out with. Obviously, the CrossFit community all across the world I said it a couple times, but it's the same type of people, and it was really cool to be welcomed by everybody, and it didn't matter what language you spoke, and as soon as you walk into the gym, you felt like you were at home, so that was pretty cool. And then getting to hang out with Chris and Facundo was fun.
Well,
and
for people that don't know, you were doing an aerobic capacity tour in
we were
Europe. for
doing
10
a
days.
Mayhem athlete / aerobic capacity
Sorry, I
tour.
knew there was an R star in a aerobic capacity.
And so we did 17 seminars in 8 days. We were in 7 countries in 8 days, 8 seminars.
Wow.
In 8. Wow,
Yeah.
8 days, 17
It all ran
seminars.
So
together
many
just like
numbers.
that.
What was the most surprising thing you saw?
Nothing.
Puzzling? What was the most puzzling thing you saw?
Nothing really.
Oh
What
my
was the best
gosh.
food?
Milan.
Yeah.
We had like a margarita pizza, and then some fresh mozzarella, like a caprese salad,
That sounds so good.
and then a fillet that was amazing.
That sounds good right now.
It was.
I
it was
quit the
probably
podcast.
Goodbye, Jim.
Silver's out.
It was probably one of the best meals I've had ever. It was
Wow.
good. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
It was
pretty
good.
serious.
It was
if
like
you can say like
last meal type. It was good.
Right on.
Yeah.
So we know your
meal,
last
man.
meal
I know
would
what my
be
last
now.
meal is now. Yeah. Go back to that spot. It was delicious. It was amazing.
Ambiance was good, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Sitting on the patio?
No, we were inside.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to make it
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was fun.
Okay.
Well,
I
good.
mean, having Facundo be able to speak 5 different languages
Yeah,
on
that's
the
amazing.
ready, just like could carry on a conversation in 4 different languages.
I think that's the coolest thing.
It was.
that's
It
way
was
mind-blowing.
That's gotta
beyond.
make a big difference.
It was
too.
beyond
Yeah.
impressive, and just to have somebody like him to. I mean, when we were traveling, different airports, different airlines, different trains, like he knew exactly where to go, could read the signs, like there was no stress.
awesome.
Like usually that's the stressful part.
Right.
That stress was all taken away. So
Right.
it was he made it 10
Is
times
that part of his
easier.
other occupation, traveling around a lot?
I mean, he works in the European Union, European Parliament,
Oh,
and
wow.
so he, I mean,
That'd be so cool.
the dude he's smart.
Can you imagine
So,
just switching your
that's
brain
awesome.
like that? Be like, oh, today I'm going to speak.
It was
No,
crazy.
like,
I mean,
it's
we
amazing.
went
It's
from
so cool,
Madrid,
yeah.
so they're speaking Spanish, obviously.
Right.
Went from Madrid to Italy, could speak Italian perfectly. From Italy, we went to Brussels. They spoke French, right to French. Went to London the next day, speaking English right away. From England, we went to France, was back to French, could speak French. From Paris, we went to Berlin, was speaking German. You're just like, what the heck,
Ooh, you
dude?
know what I'd like to
That's
do?
nuts.
When he's back in town for his birthday, we should just get like a bunch of different like pieces of paper and write a word. Well, you have to give him a glass of wine first because we got to make it like actually challenging. Write a word in one of the 5 languages and we'll just flash him and see if he's like,
he could do
if
it
he
easy.
even stumbles.
I'm telling you, he was
what
like,
language was he thinking? Did he tell you?
Or dreaming, yeah.
That's a good question.
I can't remember which one he said his favorite language. I mean, they speak. I mean, he's from Argentina, so Spanish is his first language.
So he probably thinks in Spanish.
But he lives in Brussels, which is they speak French.
Wow, I feel
and
like
so
I would have
it's
said French.
so I mean that's his like probably speaking most of the
Because
time.
it has a French accent, kind of. It's more than
I don't
Spanish.
even know.
It's not. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Wow, that's so interesting.
That's awesome. So it was organized. I mean, they had
it
was
super
put together,
organized. Yeah,
organized.
I mean, we weren't staying in dump hotels either. They were nice hotels, and it was. I mean, it was nice.
Did you get to work out?
Yeah, I did some fitness. What did I say? I'm down 6 pounds, I think. So I'm below 195 for the first time in like
crazy.
5 years. So
Wow.
yeah.
Is that from traveling or because
I think that's
of
a mix of intermittent fasting and travel and training and all that stuff.
You're definitely leaned out for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
good.
don't know how long that'll last, but
Yeah.
Probably as long as you fast.
yeah, probably.
Those toaster strudels are calling.
I know.
I know, right? After 8
One of these
o'clock.
days.
After 8 o'clock.
Nothing crazy happened here. We were all right.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't even. What did we
Same
do for
old,
10
same
days? I
old.
don't even remember.
Tried to think up workouts and
Oh yeah.
kind of failed.
Have trouble with that?
Well, yeah. I mean, we'd be like, oh, like let's do a machine whatever workout, and then we'd be like, shoot, how long does it take to do 20 calories? Like Rich just knows that.
I just followed
Lost.
Mayhem compete
Should
the whole
know.
time.
Lost without me, huh? Lost.
I did your workouts that you wrote on the internet.
The internets?
The internets.
We did some of those. We did some fitness everywhere we went. There was one day when we were in London, and we basically in each seminar we did 2 and 3 different workouts for the participants, and so I joined in on some of those, but that was good.
So like when you were talking in the places where they didn't speak English.
We'd have an interpreter. So Facundo did the Spanish interpretation. He could have done the Italian one, but he didn't. But he would speak in Italian when it was his turn to talk and like because he would kind of brief the workouts.
Right.
And he would just speak whatever language. But yeah, you'd have to talk, stop, let the interpreter speak. So it's kind of broken up. But man, by the end of it, the last couple were all English. And so, we'd done it so many times, and you're doing the same stupid jokes over and over. And so you're like, and everybody's laughing at them, but you're like, that wasn't that funny. Just because we'd done it so many times.
Right.
But is it like you say one sentence and he repeats one sentence, or like how many do you
just
need to do
gotta,
before he has to?
It's almost like a collective thought, but you gotta, it almost sometimes you would forget that you had to interpret, or he had to interpret. So you'd take off and then you go, oh yeah, hold on, I'm gonna stop.
20 seconds time out.
Which was kind of nice in the first couple to kind of get your bearing, because I walked, honestly, so I flew in from DC to Madrid, and luckily I flew business class, thank you, Reebok, and so, but I didn't sleep. I slept like an hour and a half, because it's kind of that like, you're almost like a short, it was a 7-hour flight, but it started at like 5, and I got there at like 7 a.m., and so you couldn't go to sleep, and if you go to sleep, you're screwed, so you had to just fight through it. So by the end of it, and I really didn't know what we were doing. Chris had kind of come up with a plan of what he wanted to talk about, and then he would like bring me in as like in different stories, and it evolved through there, and I took on like a bigger role. But the first 2, I was just like, I don't even know where I'm at. I wasn't speaking the
Literally,
language.
what country
and
are we in?
The first 2 were really hard, and then we went to Italy. Those were good, and then we had a day off in Brussels, and then we went to Rogue Europe in Antwerp. That was awesome. That's a cool facility there for sure. And then we went to WIT in London. And so in London, I had to actually do a photo shoot for the Froning apparel line.
Oh, that's fun.
In the morning. And then a meet and greet in their store, because they have a store above. And then 3 seminars, not 2.
After
3
that?
seminars, yes.
Oh, wow, that's a day.
And so then we were
slept well that night.
well, we were staying next to St. Paul's Cathedral.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, it was closed. The front of it was closed because they were filming a movie, and they're like, the road's closed. You can wait 5 minutes, and we're like, screw it, we'll just walk around. They were filming Avengers.
Oh,
wow.
You didn't stay?
And we didn't go stay and look. I was so pissed. Well, we had to get up at 6:30 the next morning, and it was already 10 o'clock. And so, and when you get done, your brain's so fried, and you can't fall asleep either because you're kind of like, all jacked up.
Did you consume any caffeine while you were over there?
I drank 1 cup of coffee in Madrid.
Was it good?
Was it as good
Did
as...
it change you?
No.
Do you like coffee now?
Tasted like coffee. Tasted like bitter coffee.
Like bitter.
So from there
like
we
juice.
went to London. We took a train. We did take a train from Brussels to England. And then...
That's kind of cool.
It was cool. We went under the English Channel.
Oh, wow.
Then we went to Paris. In Paris, CrossFit Louvre. It was cool, but it's kind of small, and it's downtown, and like it's very tunnely, and it was interesting. We were on the streets in Paris for 15 minutes tops to walk to the restaurant, if that, and then drove back, and then we had to fly out the next morning at 6 a.m. again. And so from there, where did we go from Paris? We went to Berlin. We got a little downtime in Berlin, worked out a little bit. CrossFit Mileo, that place is awesome. It's like, if you're ever in Berlin, you check it out. I'm trying to think. From there, went to Nuremberg. We did a thing at Adidas headquarters or Reebok headquarters. And then we went to CrossFit Nuremberg, Reebok CrossFit Nuremberg. And Drake and them, he's ex-military, and just stayed over there after that. So really cool community they have there. Did a seminar there. And then we went to Switzerland. We flew to Switzerland. And that was cool. Worked out with Laura Horvath and her brother Christoph. And then some other games athletes there. So it was good.
That's awesome.
I'm impressed
Jeez,
that you even knew where you were.
There were days where I was like, what day is it? It was hard.
Wow. Do you feel like recovered since then or no?
Ish. Coming back west is always easier, I think, time-wise. But, I mean, Trice has not been sleeping whatsoever. Last night, that was a struggle. And then yesterday, Lakeland having her teeth thing, so that was tough. But
It's just a lot going on, you know?
Mass chaos around here.
Always a little something. Well, can I tell my car story now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of chaos, because this is kind of chaos.
What'd you do to the car?
No, I didn't. I told them earlier. So I was taught in driver's ed, this is totally irrelevant to my story, I apologize, that at a stoplight, you always look both ways before you pull out when the light turns green, right? You know, just to make sure no one's losing their minds.
I don't. It's green.
Well, then,
if it's green, I go.
So today...
You'd be dead right now if you were her.
So
here's a cautionary tale for you.
I looked left, freaking dump truck semi-barreling, and I'm like, yeah, he's not slowing down. Not slowing down. Watched him go through, and he looks at me like this, mouth wide open, arms in the air, and I was like... And then as the light turned yellow, I drove away. But I was like, what in the...
You drove through a yellow light?
It's good luck.
Are you sure it wasn't red?
It's good luck, she says.
It's good luck. You never learn.
He did that to you, so you had to do that to the next person.
No, I was not
just
partying
kidding.
at all. It was still like, it was in transition.
You were in the intersection.
There's not enough time, if it turns yellow, for you to take off and pull through the light.
So maybe I was like rolling or...
You were in the intersection.
I don't know. Anyway, I need to understand the scenario, what you would do in this situation. So the other day I was driving and like, something, I got like a little like tickle on my leg and I was like, that's odd.
Spider.
I probably just have an itch.
Yep.
I look down, it's rounding the top of my kneecap.
How big was
spider.
it?
This big.
No way.
I swear on my life.
It was
the carcass
not that
is in there.
big.
I saved it.
The
It's in a little can
carcass.
for you.
It's not that
Oh,
big.
it is. Oh, wait till I tell you how
Well,
my
it's
dad
so
got over
nice
fear
and
of
homey in
spiders.
your car. Why wouldn't a spider want to live there? It's got all the amenities. It's got food, clothes.
It does have all the amenities.
You need some bat supplies?
Right? I have it all back there. So you
true.
say that I don't fight in my fight or flight, but man, I freaking made a fist. I
punched yourself?
I hit my knee.
Why would you decrease the surface area?
I don't know. It was like instant, and I just went, wham! And I was like in the car, and I'm like, ow! So then I'm pissed, and then my arm gets cut, saw under the steering wheel, and then I slammed this part of my arm, and I was like,
Who's driving the car?
me.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
How did the car stay in its lane? How did you not kill someone?
Because I'm a professional.
Oh,
There's
I
probably,
mean, but you killed it
there's
with a
probably,
punch.
there's probably a hit and run
Well,
somewhere.
pure luck.
Well, I assume
God's
that
grace.
She
I think
ran somebody off the road, I guarantee
the
it.
carcass is in the bottom of the car somewhere.
Carcass.
But in that situation, what do you do? Because you can't, like, if you flick it,
You do
there's no
this,
way you
you
can
just-
drive.
You just calmly put your hand down there and smack it.
I have a spider bite on the back of my leg right now. What if you see the fangs like this? Like, you
just
do
do like a little,
smack
like-
a deadly
it's really
How do
kind
you
of the
know
same
it's a
scenario.
spider bite on the back of your leg? Are you
'Cause
an
it's 2
anthropologist?
anthropologist. Is that the person that studies
Isn't that a
spider-
bug?
That sounds
I
right.
think so. Is that studies that's
Anthropology is like
the study of
history and
something?
civilization, right?
Oh.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Let's look it
Do
up.
my
Look it up.
job.
Look it up.
My dad got over his fear of spiders by the biggest spiders they could find. After they died, they would take them and put them on cardboard and stretch out their legs and put pins in them so they were huge. I don't know
The
why that would
study
help.
of human societies and cultures and their development.
Yeah, well.
There you go. Good job.
Same thing.
So
Now,
if I was an anthropologist, it still.
What
it's
is
good. I know
study
the
of bugs?
schools.
Study
Yeah,
of
what's the study of bugs?
Is it etymology?
I don't know. It's not zoology.
entomology.
Entomology.
Silver. All that wisdom.
Well,
Dang.
Okay, so you got to hear this story though, and then I promise we're done with bugs. Kristin told me a story the other day, and I laughed so hard it hurt.
Oh. Well, I'm really bad at telling stories, but
do your best.
all right, here we go.
Do your worst.
Okay. So I was sitting in my room, Google chatting with my brother or whatever the other night, and like in the corner of my eye, I see something like scurry across the floor, and like my heart started beating fast. Like if it's a spider, usually I just like let it live, and like if it runs away, like there's nothing worse than seeing a bug and being like, all right, I got to get it out of here, but then it runs away and you don't know where it went, so you're like, I don't know where it went. So like I thought it went into my closet, which is a mess. I'm like, all right, man, I thought maybe I'll just put like a towel underneath the door or something so it can't get back out.
I like your style.
And so,
So
I
then
was,
it can get in your pants and you put your pants on. You strap.
exactly. But at least it
spider
won't
in
come
your
out
pants.
while I'm sleeping. So anyway,
Oh, yeah.
whatever it was, I couldn't really tell. Then all of a sudden I look up and so I'm sitting on my bed and then there's a doorway to the bathroom. No kidding, it's sitting up above the door, like right by the crease of the
Is it
ceiling.
looking at
Yeah,
you with
looking
its
at
eight
you.
eyes?
It's not a
Understood.
spider, which would be fine, but it's one of those like millipedes with like really long, like it has some legs that are short and some that are like longer.
Hence the sound effects earlier.
Like, just like those things
Yeah.
really,
Oh.
those really creep me out. So it's sitting there, and for like the whole 2 hours I was talking to my brother, like it's sitting there watching me, and I'm like, how am I gonna get this thing? Because it's too high up for me to just
great.
like get a shoe and like hit it. So luckily, like there's randomly a stool by the
Randomly.
side. Randomly.
How is that? It's your room. How is it random?
Well, it's not mine. It's just like been in the
okay.
room.
I got
And
you. Oh, I
I
got you.
kind of forget. You know when you're like go in a room so many times you just forget the stuff that's like around you.
I got you.
Like paintings and stuff like that. So anyway,
Mr. Jason Bourne.
so I like try to think like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna just like sweep it off the wall and then when it gets to the floor, just like try to kill it? But the thing that creeps me out about those is they can move so fast that you're like afraid they're gonna like come at you or whatever. So I'm like, I can't do that. So I actually grabbed a bottle of hairspray and I'm like, if I start spraying this at it, it might like kind of congeal and like stop it from like moving. So I climbed up on the stool, started spraying the thing for like probably about 20 seconds. It didn't move, and I'm like, this thing is invincible, like even scarier.
It's invincible.
But she loves animals. If it could be saved, she would have saved it.
Yeah, if it was any other thing, I would have tried, but that thing was nasty.
Got hair
so I
sprayed.
sprayed it, and it fell off, and it like wasn't moving, and I was like standing over the shoe. I was like,
Did you taunt it?
no, I was like, I don't know, do I kill it? And then I was like,
You already
After-
tortured it. You
I know.
might as well put it out of its
well,
misery.
I did then.
Okay. Catch it with a coat,
Finally.
smack it with a hammer.
I just thought the hairspray was super
But
resourceful.
luckily, it actually worked. It like slowed him down, so he couldn't just like scurry away. He was just like kind of like moving, and I was like, I don't know, is this when I kill him? And then I couldn't figure out when I should.
Is this what I
You
kill
gotta
him?
know.
Yeah.
Man.
I feel like you have to come to a decision about
But-
bugs in your life. If they're in my home, they die. If they're outside, I'll let them go.
Well, if it's like a spider, I'm gonna honestly usually I just let it like sit there and hope that it runs away, and I don't have to kill it.
I gotta
Or
kill
just
them
punch
all.
yourself. It's totally fine.
But then my heartbeat was at like 200 because like you get like all worked up
Yeah.
about it. I'm like, now I have to go to sleep, and it's like 11 o'clock.
Now
Like,
you're never sleeping.
But luckily I got him. The hairspray, if you ever need it. If it's out of reach.
That's a good one.
There it is.
I mean, it's probably just ruined the
I'm gonna
paint,
do that.
but
Wow. That was a lot of thinking.
It was calculated.
A lot of calculating.
Well, it had to be. I was like, I want to go to sleep with it up in the
You want a
corner, but I
centipede on your
can't do
face?
it.
Come on.
Wow.
I can't do it.
What if
So-
it had crawled over your mouth like a mustache?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then you think there's one, there's got to be more.
Yeah, it's
it
got a
didn't
family
just come
somewhere.
Out of nowhere.
You just killed the father of the family or the mother.
You guys.
There's,
I don't feel bad about
Now
killing
there's a
that
bunch of
thing.
baby
If it was
bugs out
anything
there.
else, I
They're
would.
orphans.
Orphan centipedes.
they're
I don't
starving
know
under
about
your
that.
bed right now.
They're plotting.
And they're going to have to
Plotting.
come out
They
for
are.
revenge.
No,
Oh,
they
it was
won't
like-
come
Gonna
for
seek
revenge.
revenge.
I mean, it wasn't even that big, but it's
Pretty
just
sure they have like a
the
million
legs.
babies too.
Ew.
Yeah.
Do they?
I don't know. I
They
made that
probably
up.
We
nest
better,
and
we
lay
better
eggs.
talk to an
When I killed it,
anthropologist.
the legs kept like
Probably should.
they kept like moving, even though it was dead. I was like,
Yeah, he was
is
trying.
it dead?
That's pretty gross.
Wow. Now that's a
Anyway.
story.
I know. I got some. I have a good.
Still
I
creeps
got
me
some.
out.
Ugh.
You got
I
some?
have a good fact today.
A good fun fact? Is
Yes.
it fun or just
Check
a fact?
it.
It's so
Get ready
fun.
to check it.
All right.
Well,
Warming
first,
up my fingers.
I like to put it in the form of a question to test your knowledge of facts.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
wow.
So, what? Let's go with an accent. What is the meaning of tag?
Let's,
Tag the
let-
game.
Yeah.
What accent
How
was
did
that?
they
That wasn't even.
What is the
like-
meaning of it?
English?
Like, what is this? Like, where did that
Like
come
a
from?
school marm?
Why is it called tag? The game.
Tag.
Because you
Ow!
smack somebody.
Wham!
I do
Tag,
not know.
Come on, think hard. I
touch.
believe
I feel like
you. You're
that's something
Mr.
I'm gonna
Trivia.
Tag.
Touch aggressively and
Get
Go.
away.
go away.
Touch and go.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
You just figured that out. Touch and go.
It was not
touch and
touch
go.
aggressively.
Oh, that
but
was
still, like
TAG.
we kind of got it.
Touch and go.
I said get away.
man.
Yeah, get away.
I don't know.
Same.
There you go. Touch
Stop.
and get
Just
away.
narrowed it down.
So that's it. So just so you know,
Touch
next
and get
time
away.
you play tag,
Touch and
touch
go.
aggressively
Touch
and get
and go.
away in
Yeah.
Silver's mind.
Yeah, I like the aggressive
Tag her.
part.
Tag. We had a question, an Instagram question from the audience this
Oh.
week. They said you haven't
Oh.
asked this question, and I thought this was so cool. So at this person's gym, I wish I remembered their name. I'm gonna have to look it up. So they start the class, or they do it once a week. That they get in a circle and someone brings a random question, and everyone has to answer it. Which I thought was like such a cool way to get to know the people that you're working out with, you know. And their question of the week last
I mean,
Clearly,
of course
you
you're
guys
gonna
don't
do
think
physical.
it's like, how else do you learn things about people?
About people? Is it
Talk
about
to
people?
them.
Or?
Can we not do this ever?
A lot of people don't
Yeah.
talk. Like, when's the next time you're gonna walk in the gym? This is the
When's the
question.
last time you took a class?
After last season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, when
You never did. You never took a class.
I did. I had.
You
yeah.
did one?
Like 2 or 3 maybe.
Oh yeah. Like you guys also.
I
Anyway,
took class.
here's the
I took
question.
classes a lot.
Because when would be the time you go to the gym and you go, "Hey, are you into pancakes or waffles?"
Never.
Right? But don't. What if that
I don't
happen?
know. I don't. I guess it wouldn't happen, but like that's just like one of those like it just seems like an icebreaker type of thing where like in class when they made you do that stuff and it was just like the worst thing ever.
But
Yeah,
I
just-
like knowing if you like pancakes or waffles. Because what if you ever come over at breakfast time and then I would just surprise you with pancakes
Like
or
honestly,
waffles?
I don't.
Wow.
You don't think this
It
is
just-
relevant?
Why wouldn't you just say the night before, hey, do you guys want pancakes or waffles in the morning?
Right.
There's no surprise. What
Why
if I
does there
wanted
have
to
to
make a
be a
volcano
surprise?
of waffles?
I don't
Plus,
like
is it
surprises.
like what are the
I-
chances this person's coming over to your house to have breakfast?
You guys, you know what? I think that gym is cool. I think that person is awesome.
mean,
and I
that's
love the
cool,
idea of
but-
sharing questions.
So
No.
what was
Yeah.
the question that they asked?
This is a legit question for you.
I would have asked.
Pancakes or
When
waffles?
can we start working out?
When are we done
What's
with
the warm-up?
icebreakers?
Yeah. How many minutes do we have to deal with this?
You guys, it's not even Christmas. You can't be Grinches. I don't understand what's going on right now.
And
Just
if you're going to ask a question,
next
ask
question.
what kind of donut you want.
Can you answer the pancake or waffle question first? Why is this? Did
No,
you guys have
I would have an answer for that.
Both.
Is this
Yes.
a traumatic experience?
Yes, I like both.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter.
If
Pancakes
you
or
go to
waffles,
Cracker
yes.
Barrel right now, are you ordering pancakes or waffles?
Well, I don't think you can get waffles at
Oh, for
Cracker
the
Barrel.
sake of
You
Pete.
can't. You only can get pancakes at Cracker
Okay,
Barrel.
Man, we should
at
go there.
Bravo,
We haven't been
I
there in
know.
a long
Pecan
time.
pancakes. Yeah.
The blueberry ones.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, those are good too.
They
Yeah.
are good.
Yeah.
So if you had the choice, you guys just
That was the
Depends on
question.
the day.
you guys would just say
It depends on what their specialty is.
you would say. I want neither.
If I
just
go to
spite
Waffle House,
Elly.
I get a waffle. If I go to IHOP, I get pancakes.
Right. If I go to CrossFit, I work out.
Unbelievable. Okay, so here's on to the next random
one, Jim.
thought of the day. Yeah, you're hilarious. No, it's really funny.
Okay.
What's the best gift you've gotten in the last decade? Because I'm going to show you mine. See this silicone straw in my shaker? This has changed my life in the last 5 days.
Best gift.
So
I've
what's the
gotten in a
best gift?
decade.
Look, it's a gift of utility. I use it every day.
It's
Thank
better
you,
for the
Jaden.
environment, I
It
guess.
is. So what's your best gift in the last decade?
I've never even heard those words together before. A gift of utility.
That's my favorite thing to give to people is gifts of utility. I would rather someone use something every day, even if it's like
I thought you said a gift of futility.
Futility.
I was like, I get that.
utility. What's the best gift you've gotten in the last 10 years?
Best
Or a gift of utility. Not futility.
Best gift I got in 10 years.
Because this thing is fantastic.
Love. I don't know. Peace,
I
harmony.
don't know. Yeah.
Wow, we're killing it with the gifts. You said you got a book you liked the other day?
That was really cool. I really have a hard time because people want to give me books all the time.
What book was it?
It was Admiral McCraven's book.
Oh, okay.
Make Your Bed.
Yeah.
One of the guys at What's Rich Doing gave it to me, and he said to me the words that I hate the most. Here, I'd like to give you a book.
Which is so
And
weird
my-
coming from such a wise human. It's so strange.
And my heart sank.
I get it.
I don't know why I feel that way because I think
I
with,
get it.
with books
Because
I
they're
just-
trying to change you or trying to like
Oh,
not
that's
change you,
interesting.
but like I don't know.
I think
Unless you ask for a book, like if
Right.
you're like, hey, you got a good book to read?
Right.
That's
Well,
it's not fair because I think people really are just trying to be connected and involved and here's
Yeah.
something good that I read. But for me, books are really important and I go to the ones that I want.
Yeah.
And so when someone hands me one, I know immediately probably I'm not going to read it and I'm not going to throw it away. Where are you going to put it?
And people
You can't
like a
throw it
wide
away.
variety of
Bookshelf?
books too. So like if you don't know the person, then like a lot of times like people say, "Oh, this is a really good book," and then I read it, I'm like, "Oh."
Books are important to you.
yeah, I like books.
But I think books are books are need to be in a conversation like third base is on a date. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like we got to be close for me to give you a book.
Yeah,
Like,
for
let's-
sure.
So you guys feel as though a
Most
gift
definitely.
of a book is pressuring you into believing or thinking
No, I just-
no,
no.
what's in the book?
No, we got to get to know each other. We got to have a conversation.
Because you're spending time reading the book, so
Yeah.
you want it to be wisely spent. And if you do your own research and find your own books, then at least you can just blame yourself. But you don't want to have to blame this person if the book ends up being not
What
everything.
book
it's
are you
cracked
on,
up
by
to
the
be.
way?
I'm reading Musashi.
I know, but how many?
36.
I don't care about the content. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
What's your
that's kind of what I'm having to do because like I'm reading like a
What's
longer
your goal?
book. 50.
50.
I'm on track. It
You're
tells
there.
me on the
Crushing it.
website.
That's awesome.
I'm on track.
Yeah, I just feel like you don't just start off with here's a book.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
Yeah,
not. I
like,
don't agree.
It's not a good
It is a
icebreaker.
nice gesture, but like you're saying, like there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of books out there, and people like different stuff. So
What happens to me too is that if like I kind of go down a path with a book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about this. It's something and I get 2 or 3 books and this is an idea that I have and I can't read it because it's going to mess up what I'm doing. Does that make sense? What I'm doing over here.
Yeah.
What I'm learning, what I'm
Yeah.
studying about. So
I just think that there's like some overthought in there. Like I get like if you like try to give someone like a politically influential or say like a certain religion that there are certain things that I feel like you should be open about.
You said this was the greatest gift you've had in a decade?
Yeah, because I use it every day, and every time
That's
I use
not
it, I'm
overthought?
like, and I'm like, wow, that was so thoughtful of Jade. And I'm so thankful for that thing. Because like when ice hits you in the face, and then it messes up your lip gloss, and like there's just so much happening.
There's overthought.
I don't think I've ever had that problem whatsoever.
me either.
Sometimes if it's warm, my lipstick gets messed up.
Anyway, I just think
No.
some books can just be like they're not like it's not so deep that it's like it could just be I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's very
It
nice,
it
but
is
it's
deep
nice
stuff.
gesture.
It's, yeah.
It's a nice gesture.
It is a nice gesture.
But like you said, we
that
gotta have
book was
some
awesome,
miles
you
because you
said.
don't know what I even want to read or what
Yeah.
I'm into unless
Right.
you know
And then
each
you're
other.
just kind of like assuming, and then it's like kind of weird.
I'm just
Did
gonna
you
keep
read
it
it,
with
Jeff?
the
So what happens to me a lot of times is when I'm working with somebody and we're in these powerful conversations that are really deep and I'm wanting them to think about something and then they'll invariably jump up and run over and go, hey, we need to read this book. No, I don't want you to read that book, man. I want you to pay attention to what we're
Nah,
talking
dude.
about.
I mean, I
You know?
totally get that situation,
Right.
and I can see a lot of you're right. Sometimes it's like a book's like third base. Okay, we'll keep it at that.
I think
I don't
it's
know.
always a nice gesture and it's cool that people try to connect that way.
It
It's
is.
really honestly not a bad thing. So
No. Did you read it though, Jim?
I have it on my nightstand. It actually made it to the nightstand. There are,
How many books are on yours? Mine has like this
I read
many.
the cover
It's like,
so far.
yeah. There are 4 books on my nightstand right now. If it makes it to the nightstand, then you're in. Like,
Got a chance, huh?
it's got a chance.
But you know what's cool about that one too is like it's a smaller book
Yeah.
too, right? So like
Yep.
that's cool if you give someone like a shorter book because it's like,
You
oh,
can
cool,
kind of-
like it's only
Practical
like
stuff,
150
yeah.
pages or something,
Right.
and you're like, all right, sweet,
Yeah.
like
I love the guy's speech. If you want to
concise.
hear
Well,
an incredible
and-
speech, he was.
In their defense, they've heard you speak and they know what you're into.
Right.
So
Yeah,
there's a
that's
little
true.
bit more of.
I agree with that.
for sure.
I need to be careful about that because it is always a nice gesture.
No, I mean, but I
It
appreciate
is.
both sides because you're right. Like it is, they can be more personal for sure.
Right.
You know.
I think books are amazing, and I place a lot of value in books, and
Yeah.
especially, I mean, there's a couple books that have changed my life that have
Yeah.
been super important in
sure.
It's a
in my
great
growth.
way to share knowledge.
And then there are some like we were talking about the other day where you get into it and you're like,
Yeah,
I'm out.
for sure.
I've had a couple books where I just quit.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's honestly, I feel like that's the better way to do it. But sometimes you just
Yeah.
get stubborn. You're like, I will make it through this.
I don't ever do that
I'm
with a
gonna
book.
hate it, but I will make it through this.
That says a lot about your personality, though. You're like,
yeah, that
you
you,
hang
that
in
you
there.
persevere.
You really
Because
do.
some, it's like it's torture.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last book that I quit on. I can't remember.
The Grant book, I didn't quit on it, but I just
Haven't
got to
got into
doing a bunch of other things, and then it's still on my nightstand, but it's 3 deep or 4 deep now.
Yeah, Washington, I got kind of slow on the last couple weeks just because I was so tired that I couldn't read at night, but I've read it a couple times.
Washington.
Yeah.
I
That's
feel
the
like we
one
need
you're
to
on?
have like a little
Revolutionary War is over
I'll
now.
pick the same book.
Yeah, we
And
should
read
do a
it.
book
We
club
do.
sometime.
That'd be cool.
Somebody Instagrammed the other day and said, "Hey, what's
I'll
a good
read whatever
book?"
you guys want to read.
Yeah, let's do a book club. That'd be super
Yeah.
cool.
That's a good idea, actually.
A book club?
Yeah.
Can we listen to it though too?
Why not? Sure.
What did I just?
I won't because I can't retain information.
I
that
can't
way.
retain information. I can't
No.
listen. I'm not listening to you guys at all right now.
That's so weird.
Actually,
That explains it all.
I actually watch movies with subtitles so I can read it sometimes because if there's any commotion or noise going on
Yeah.
back here, I'm out. Like, I'm just like,
Right.
Ah, what?
and I hate missing any part of a movie. Like
Right.
the sound of it, I'm just like, what did he say?
What-
Yeah. So, but you listen because you drive so much that you do listen to.
Well, so I think I had to train my brain though, because
Yeah.
at first I would phase out really easily, but now it makes me be more present because I used to. And there are times that like I'm like, and that's a thing that I like about books that I don't want to say suck, but you know what I mean. Like they're like, eh. Then I just kind of go off in my own and then I come back to earth when it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that sounded good, you know. But
I get books on tape when I travel. A spy novel,
You get books on tape, Jim? Books on tape.
books on tape. They used to be books on tape back in my day.
Sorry, I
Audio
just-
books, buddy.
I just honked in the microphone. That was good.
It's so funny that that's a thing. That I'm that old that it's
Did you
actually
go
a
rent
thing.
some videotapes?
Did you get them from Blockbuster?
No, you go to the truck stop.
I missed that.
The
though.
truck stop. What are you getting at the truck stop there, Jim?
You fill up on fuel. It's a CD. It's a book on CD,
Okay.
and it's you get a spy novel, and then that's what you listen to.
That's
In
sick.
some horrible English
I
accent.
don't really like fiction or nonfiction now. No, fiction. I
Fiction.
don't like fiction. I
Yeah.
can't really do
You
fiction.
like nonfiction.
I like nonfiction.
Yeah.
You like biographies and autobiographies.
The only real fiction books that I liked were those Day of War, the
Those were
historical
good.
fiction
those
books.
are great books.
Those
Those
are
are really
really
good.
good books. Jeez, they create some images for sure.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's really based on a true story. It's just
Yeah.
loosely based.
It's like historical fiction.
Historical
so,
fiction.
I mean, that's different. I read something the other day that I thought was funny. Tell me if you think this is funny or not.
Can you get it on
Wait,
tape?
is it true? Yeah.
Yeah.
True or false? Is a statement true or false? Nothing good ever happens after someone says, "Hold my beer."
Hold my beer and watch this.
It's so true. Like,
Hold my
what
beer.
good ever
I don't know. I've seen a lot of cool things happen
Yeah.
after that.
Okay, I don't know. Let's say safe. I don't know. What word would you plug in there? Nothing. What happens after someone? I'm not saying you don't. It's usually wildly entertaining.
Nothing safe. That's probably
You
accurate.
know.
Yeah.
I read that. I thought that was hilarious. Okay, this was another thing. Sorry, I could tell some like random stuff this week probably because Rich is gone so long. Like, I've got all this random information.
When it gets quiet and Ellie looks down at her phone and she just like chuckles and we're like,
we need to have Dre cut that out. She just like literally, you just did like a tee hee hee laugh, like a that definitely needs to be.
Well, this is an engineering question,
the
really.
honk too.
You said tape.
you gotta capture that one for the little clip that goes on Instagram.
Yeah,
We need to do all the different laughs of Elly.
There you go.
Oh,
Yes!
that's good.
No, it's fine.
From this podcast.
No.
Yeah.
My stomach
at least
hurts from
4.
laughing.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear. I've got 2 great things for you. So one, I was watching this GoPro video called Shark Riders, which is really cool. This guy who's like, he was a pro surfer, but he also like does, crazy media stuff with sharks. Anyway, this has nothing to do with him. It's I was on YouTube and then it took me down the hole of some guy getting stuck in the cage because the shark freaked out. They can't swim backwards. Hits the cage, freaks out. The cage goes to pieces and there's 2 dudes in it. And it's not like you can like swim away.
Swim away.
So 2 questions. What are they made of? And obviously they can
Sharks?
break them.
Yeah, I was going to say the shark or the cage.
I learned at SeaWorld Camp their skin is like little teeth. They let us pet one.
Sharks don't have reverse.
No, and that's what blew my mind too. They can't go in reverse.
I'm just kidding. I actually knew that. Learned that on tape.
So what would you do if the shark went into the cage and it disappeared? What would you stay in like a corner and like hold on and hope someone pulls you up? Or would you swim away and try to get to the other side of the boat? That was my hypothetical.
I'm not sure. It depends on if your path is blocked.
The shark's in the cage with you?
So what happened was like it didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't
Aren't they
mean
made
to.
of steel?
Aluminum.
Aluminum?
I mean,
okay,
you can look up the video. The guy talks about it. He was in his cage diving, whatever.
I thought
Shark
aluminum would be
breaks.
too weak, but
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, he goes in and he
light.
hits it, and the front door piece comes off, and like the other piece comes down. So like there's like a little corner left here, but the shark, it can't go backwards, so it's going right here. The other guy flies out of the other side or something. He disappears, and all of a sudden the guy's in there by himself. And all he has is a shark up here, and his, I guess, air. They just give you the umbilical, so it's like you're either holding your breath
Wow.
and trying to swim around the boat and see if the sharks can come and eat you.
This will never happen to me because I will never, ever,
I
ever
think
do
that
that.
sounds fun.
I know.
I want to.
great white, no.
Nah.
It's like grizzly bears. No.
Yeah, just not.
Did you see that? Those hunters got killed in Montana or
Oh my gosh.
in Wyoming?
No.
Yeah.
Just
No?
recently?
Yeah, there's that judge that blocked the grizzly bear hunt because I don't know because he's
Wow. I did not hear about this.
yeah, and they're overpopulated,
Right.
Oh, no.
and it attacked 2 hunters and a guide
Oh,
elk hunting.
man, you do not want to
Dead.
mess with a grizzly bear.
It was like I think it was multiple actually.
Wow.
Is that like is a grizzly bear like an ambush thing, or does
Yeah.
he think that you have food, or like what is his
They're-
like?
Well, I don't know.
Well, the grizzly bear is actually
They're
pretty
serious.
aggressive.
They're aggressive. They're ambush predators.
Right. Wow.
Well,
That's not
I
good.
think we talked about that the other day. I just don't know. And
Well,
like with a
then-
bear, do you really play dead, or you climb a tree, or like what do you?
It was on. Somebody commented. I don't remember what you're with grizzly
remember.
bear. With the grizzly bear, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's
Yeah.
any.
I can just see their mouths. You
What was
know?
that? What was the movie with DiCaprio?
That was so stupid.
Oh, I
He
never
gets
saw
mauled
that.
by the
Yeah.
bear.
By a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Just think about what one of those paws would do to
Oh,
your
yeah.
skin if it just got a hold of you.
Raked
It
you
would go
once,
right
yeah.
through you,
Yeah,
expose your organs.
dead.
That sounds
And he's
terrible.
got getting jumped on and mauled, and I was just like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, that movie was a little much.
Was that like the 3-hour one? What was it?
Yes.
The-
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was
Revenant?
Revenant.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't that impressed.
No, it wasn't that good.
Jeez. Did you just look something
Did
up?
you watch?
I was
You watched
trying to-
Hostels, right?
Yeah,
Movie was
That
intense.
was a good movie. Everybody dies in
Everybody
that movie.
dies.
What's it about?
Nobody's safe. Christian Bale is like a
Cavalry officer.
out west, and basically his job is to round up Native Americans, and then towards the end of his career, he's wanting out. Well, his commanding officer
He's retiring.
makes him take these Native Americans that he had actually fought against and put in prison for 7 years or something like that.
Right.
The chief is dying of cancer, so he's making him take him back to his homeland so he can die there. And
Because there's peace at this point.
Christian Bale doesn't want to, but man, the whole movie is just somebody's dying. You're just like,
Jeez, oh,
holy
Pete.
crap.
It's one of those movies that get you off guard because you're like, oh wow, somebody just died.
You're like, who's
you
gonna let?
gotta-
Nope,
Oh.
they're dead. This one for sure will
He
live.
gone.
Nope,
Yeah.
they dead.
Like, spoiler alert, at the end, where they were facing off with the...
Yeah, don't give a spoiler at the end, but...
I won't say what happened, but you're just like...
What the heck?
Oh, geez.
Well, I mean, you know it's bad when it starts off, like, this is not spoiler, because it's literally how the movie starts, and so this will tell you if you want to watch it or not. There's a guy, he's like cutting wood, and he's like, they're out on the frontier, and this mom is teaching 2 little girls, and she's holding a baby, and these Indians come up and like ambush them, kills everybody except for the mom, and you're just like,
gosh.
So the rest of you're like, well, I could turn this off, but it can't get any worse, really. So I guess we'll watch this.
Yeah. It's a very violent movie.
Because at first I'm like, wow, and I watched it on the plane. I was like, this is depressing.
Yeah. That's a good way
I would turn this off, but I got nothing else to do, and it literally cannot get any worse from here.
Wow.
So
yeah,
that sounds exciting.
That's violent.
Jeez, oh Pete's. Do you know, this is also something I learned this week that I thought was so interesting. Did you know crabs are self-policing animals? So if you're like, these people were like, they paralleled it to a life lesson, but these people were on the beach and they were, are you saying her monkey dust?
Yeah. No, I'm
self-policing.
Check this.
Okay.
So these people were like walking down the beach or whatever, and they,
this is going to be fact check signal from now on.
Okay.
I think it looks more like magic.
Tip of the cap.
So
I'm still traumatized from the bug thing, so that's why I thought you were like saying something.
No.
The creepy crawly sound.
Just swipe across the chest.
Yeah.
This is
There's like
this
a
is
series
fact
of
check.
like 20
Fact
like
check.
This
This is a good
fact check.
life lesson.
This is fact check.
So
fast.
crabs are self-policing. So this couple was in, they went on a cruise somewhere and they were walking down this beach and they're walking by this fisherman, old dude, and there was a crab and he had taken his little claws and he was trying to get out of the bucket. So why are you shaking your head?
Keep going.
Why are we talking about
Just let her
this?
go.
But this
Let
is
her
a
go.
great life lesson, wisdom man.
there's a life lesson
yes.
here? Oh.
So the crab, they're like,
Be like
hey-
a crab.
So-
Police yourself.
No. So they look at the fisherman and they
Climb
go,
out of a bucket.
they go, hey, you're about to lose your crab. And the guy looks at him, rolls his eyes, and keeps going back to what he's doing.
Right.
Because as the crab went to hoist himself to freedom, the other little crabs in the bucket grabbed his feet and ripped him back down because they're self-policing. The life parallel is if you are in an environment around people who pull you down, you're going to be stuck in a bucket and going to be eaten.
Okay, I lied. You should have cut her off like 5 minutes
tried.
ago.
You didn't think that was a good analogy?
No.
At all.
If I'm ever in a bucket.
Where do you even get that
Self-policing.
crabs are self-policing?
Because the other crabs wouldn't let him free. They took him back
Were
down
you
into
watching
the
a
bucket.
Disney
They took
movie?
him? They took him?
They took him.
Was this Under the Sea?
Under the sea. They took him.
Wow.
There's another laugh.
Yeah. They're definitely.
This is a new one. Trey's going to have to,
This is what this podcast
good.
is going to be called.
No,
Elly laughs.
I'm
Elly
sorry.
laughs.
The many
The many
You guys-
laughs of
The many
Elly.
laughs of
I
Elly.
was just trying to talk about how
gotta write
great,
it down.
our environment is, and, you guys
Wow.
you would have hoisted each other to freedom, and life is so
Wow.
good, but instead,
I don't get why they pull him back down, though.
because they're
That's not-
police crabs.
It's not what my friends would do.
I don't know. Did you find what
Ain't
a
no friend at
self-policing-
all.
No, pulling you back.
No, it doesn't say anything about
I don't
self-policing
hang with
crabs.
people like that. There's no such thing as self-policing crabs. Maybe that's the title of this thing.
Don't let the crabs drag you down.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could interpret that in a couple of different ways. Try to keep this thing G or PG at least.
Yeah, I'm never telling you guys wise stories again.
Elly, thanks for
We're-
talking about crabs.
Oh my gosh.
Your crabs.
Oh, this is a good question too. This is a life
The
parallel.
self-policing
About the crabs you have
crabs.
in your bucket.
What kind of
No,
crabs?
this
I've
is
got self-policing crabs.
this is a good one. This is like a personality test, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
So, are you ready for your personality
sleeves.
test
I
today?
can't wait.
Man.
So, you got to get visual here. So, I just really want you to think back. Get back in that, psychologist chair, whatever. Not saying you went to therapy, but you get where I'm going. Anyway, so, as a kid, when you were put to sleep, at that fateful time for the first time that you thought, there sure as heck are monsters in my closet. For sure.
Oh, you're talking about going to bed.
I thought you
not
meant,
getting,
like-
sedated.
I was like,
Yeah, that's
I
what I
was
thought
never
too.
sedated
Me
until
either.
I was like
put
16.
Sorry.
Like a dog? Like
I get
geez.
excited sometimes. So, when you were in your room that very first time,
Put
you
to bed.
were put to bed.
tucked in.
So, you had probably three options. When you first thought there were monsters in the closet, what did you do? Did you get quiet, like put the covers over your head, it's going to go away, you won't see me? Did you run out of the room and go find your parents? Or did you walk over to the closet and throw open the door and check things out?
Yeah, like I couldn't go
Just
talk to my
hide.
parents because that wasn't an
Yeah.
option. My dad would.
I had a
Yeah.
nightlight on. I was afraid of the dark till I was like 12.
Yeah.
And I would go look in the closet, obviously, because the light was on.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's kind of...
No, I actually
on,
like.
but,
I
like,
like
I
a
don't-
light on too. So.
I hate it now. I can't do
Really?
it, and it's so hard because my kids, we have a light on, and it like a night light. It tries me. If it was, I could pitch black. It has to be pitch
I think
black.
you're supposed to sleep in pitch black.
Really?
As far as,
Allegedly,
like,
yeah. I
quality of
had one of
sleep.
those little light, the things that are supposed to purify, I don't know.
Blue
it's some-
light?
No, it's some juju thing. It's like a salt rock that's orange, and you're
The
supposed to
Himalayan pink
yeah.
salt.
I had it by my bed because I thought it was healthy, but then I couldn't sleep. And then I read, we had the sleep podcast, and then I learned that you're not supposed to have lights on. So I had to turn the rock off.
Wow.
But anyway, what do you guys do? Rich turned the lights on and went and checked out the monster.
I feel like I was a mixture of like maybe checking it out or hiding, depending. Like I used to always think there was like someone standing in the shower when I just like walked in the bathroom, so I'd always like
Yeah, quick
look
check.
and like yeah.
I reached over for my Crossman pellet gun, pumped it up, walked over to those doors, kicked them open.
Nothing.
We're good. Put it down, went back to bed.
Wow. I used to think that whenever I was scared when I was little and I was by myself, I would always imagine that there was like this protective like bubble that would just cover me, and even like because I had the longest time.
Sounds right.
My brother made me watch Aliens when I was a little kid, and I literally I would sleep with pillows on my face because I thought it was gonna, you know what happens in the
You
movie.
just said you imagined there
never
was a
seen the
protective
movie.
bubble.
right.
Imagined.
You won't sleep ever again. The aliens will stick stuff in your face, and then it's bad. It's bad news.
Wow.
Here's another question that I saw on like a meme or something on Instagram. Like, what's something you believed as a child that was completely ridiculous that you think of now? Like the example was this one guy had his favorite Michael Jackson CD, and he thought Michael Jackson had to perform for him when he played it, so he never played it at dinner time, so that Michael Jackson could have family time.
That's good.
That's
Like,
awesome.
is there one of those things where you're like, that was just so ridiculous?
I had a couple.
I can't think of anything specifically.
Me either.
Rafa gives me
That was hilarious.
crap because I used to think my grandpa had a farm and he had these horses, and there was this one white horse that I just loved. And I just have this, I was really young, so it's like a really vague memory, but I remember my dad had to go get the horse. Mind you, my dad at this point in his life was like 300 pounds, and when he came back on the horse, I thought the horse was going to die because my dad was huge.
Wow.
And I used to think that when no one was around, like without question, like I knew in my heart that it was a unicorn and that rainbow shot out of its feet. I was also an avid fan of Rainbow Bright, so you can imagine the
Yeah.
parallels
There's a theme
there.
here.
But
Group policing crabs. Yeah. Yeah.
I was imaginative.
You also had an imaginary friend, right?
Oh, come on.
Oh, let's talk about that. We might as well. Let's go all in. This is your podcast, Elly Laughs.
This is embarrassing.
What was it a
Did
her?
you know this?
Was it a him?
I feel like you've said something about this
She used to
before.
talk about it all the time.
You remember her name? Do you remember how she died?
She died.
I remember how
Wait,
she
you
died.
imagine
Your
that she
imaginary
died?
friend
remember how
died.
she
She was
died.
murdered.
That says
Yeah.
something.
Wasn't it something Eleanor or something like that?
Smoke Evelyn.
Evelyn.
You imagine that your friend
No,
died?
my brother killed her. Her name was Smoke Evelyn. So she was with us. And
What?
We,
Wait, stop. What? Name was what?
Smoke Evelyn.
Smoke Evelyn.
Smoke was the first name?
Smoke
I
Evelyn.
had an affinity for Smokey Bear and saving forest fires or something. It's the parallel that I went back to.
Oh my God, Smoke Evelyn. All right, here we go.
Gosh, do we really have to talk about this?
Yes, we do. Finish
was
the
out.
story.
It's out there,
Dramatic.
so people want to know.
Your brother killed it. Her.
Yes, we are
How?
It.
I don't know if it's imaginary. I don't know.
And how did you let it happen
I
if
don't
it was
know.
your
It might
imaginary
have been
friend?
time. I
did
don't
you?
know.
Why did you not protect your friend? Why didn't
Yeah.
you
Because
imagine?
my brother at
He-
the time was he's hard.
Did you
doesn't even know
did you
where
see
she's
her
at.
die?
So we were driving. We were in the vehicle.
How specifically
At the
did she
time,
die?
We had a Jeep Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer, and the drive shaft had fallen out of it before. Like I don't
He
know. It always
pushed her
broke
out,
down.
huh?
He grabbed her and he rolled down the window and threw her out.
Why did you not imagine a protective bubble around her just like
Or
you
that
had
she
in
was
your
running
bedroom?
away.
I don't know. But that was her day, and then she was gone. It's all right. She's in heaven.
My mom, she's in heaven.
How do you know she's in
I was
heaven?
gonna say.
Because I know.
How do you know there's a heaven?
We're not going down that road. I just
you
know.
For
imagine-
imaginary people.
Right. Smoke.
Smoke Evelyn was a friend, okay?
I feel like I don't really have a story like this. My mom had a pair of rain boots.
Yes.
That reminded me of like a colonial soldier's boots. Like tall black boots. And I remember I was probably, I don't know, 7, 8. And I had like a musket, and I would put those rain boots on and then go out into the field by myself and play Army in her rain boots.
I mean,
Okay.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
I mean, you guys didn't have like. I feel like everyone thought there was a shark or something in the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, in my swimming lessons, like when I was kicking, I remember
the
kicking
deep end?
and it being like doo doo
Yeah.
doo doo.
I don't remember
And I
any
was
of
like,
this stuff.
Deep end.
Sharks are in the ocean, so I knew they weren't in the pool. That
Or
was good
alligators.
I
there.
knew they weren't
Or-
there, but I just
no
imagined.
alligators in the pool.
squid?
You just look in there and you go, nope,
I
they're
thought
not in there.
alligator was in the lake, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's actually feasible, more than a pool. After Jurassic Park came out, I remember thinking that every time I walked out into the living room, there's windows there that I would look out there and see a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex eyeball. So I never looked up. It took a couple years off of looking out that window.
It's traumatic what you've been through. I never imagined like imaginary kinds of things. I always was like,
Yeah, but you didn't have any cool movies with special effects when you were a kid.
right.
It's like,
If I was imagining something, that's true. It's hard when it's just on tape.
No, it was on tape for us.
Oh.
I think it was still on like a projector.
Reel to reel.
Oh, sorry.
that's
sorry,
all
it's
right.
too easy.
That was good.
silver.
Yeah, you can't see
Jurassic
things.
Park, I mean, when I was young, Jurassic Park freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, so there's eyeballs in windows every now and then, or if you saw the water do the ripple thing.
I didn't think that there were actually dinosaurs around. So.
Oh, a movie that freaked me out is it Children of the Corn?
Oh,
No,
that's
that
a
one's
scary
creepy. I've
one.
I
never
watched
seen it,
that
but-
one like at
Yeah.
a babysitter's house or something. It freaked me out. And
Yeah.
I didn't look at corn
Quite the same.
way.
the same after that.
Because, there was corn in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Birds, too. I never saw Birds, the movie
Oh,
Birds.
the movie?
that.
But I saw
that,
like
yeah.
previews of it, and so anytime you'd see a bunch
It
of birds
freaked you
in the
out?
sky, you're like, oh, that's weird.
I was like, this movie's too old. It's not even scary.
What was the
I've never
Alfred,
seen it.
Alfred
Yeah.
Hitchcock's book?
The Raven?
No, the one with the heartbeats.
That was Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, Edgar
The
Allan Poe.
Telltale Heart.
Yeah, there it is.
What
We
was
did
it?
that like in
Quote the
7th
Raven.
grade, and
Yeah.
that stuck with me too. That was like we read that in 7th grade literature, and I was like, wow, I was always thinking about that beating heart.
Yeah, they had some pretty gruesome things back then that we studied, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chopping them up.
If I was imagining something, it was like a real person was in the house, not like.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Gremlins? Did you ever think Gremlins were under your bed? I used to
No.
take a
I
running
did see
start down the
Gremlins.
hallway for that one.
Nope.
You didn't really? Like you?
I didn't think that
Never
they
saw
were
it.
around.
You ever see
no.
Tremors?
Oh,
Yeah.
that was so.
That was freaky.
Ooh, not Tremors.
It's like these big slug things.
Oh, that
eat
was
people
cool.
under the
No,
ground.
that's
That was
not- it
actually a
wasn't
really cool movie. I like that one. What was the name of
With
the dude
Kevin
who's
Bacon,
Kevin
right?
Bacon?
Yeah. It's so fake now, but at the time it was
And it would come
creepy.
up and get the house, and yeah, that was a
yeah.
good movie.
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't know.
I like that one.
Scary
else?
movies. Nah, that one was too scary.
I like that one.
Jeez. Oh, man, I have like real questions, and I feel like I just can't hinge or pivot there real fast. But
Nah, probably not.
well, we'll just ask one. How about one? Since we're talking about our childhood.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm sure that you guys were all super motivated adolescents. What in adolescence pushed you to be good at things like
Trophies.
like sports and stuff? Like, did you like practice extra hard or do anything, or like what'd you do to be a really good baseball player when you were young? Like, and what do you think your motivation was?
Everything.
Everything what?
I would do everything to be better at baseball when I was a kid.
Right, which is rare. So, what do you think was going through your head? What do you think pushed you to be like? Was
think
it
I'm pretty
parents? Is it
No.
you just wanted to? Yeah, it's yours was probably just you wanted to win, if
Yeah.
I could guess.
Yes. From the start.
I can remember.
I wanted to make people look stupid.
I just want to win.
Is that
Absolutely.
like your exact inner monologue? Wow. Is it still?
You
your
want to be the
monologue?
best sometimes.
I'm gonna make you look stupid. What was yours?
Same.
You wanted to make people look stupid?
I love to compete, man. I want to
Yeah.
win.
Mm-hmm.
Period. End of story. It was the greatest thing on the planet to try to win. I wanted to win at everything to the point that it was a problem. I remember my dad. My dad knew nothing about sports. I never played catch with him a day in my life. I can remember in high school hearing him yell, "Go defense," when we were playing offense. So I didn't have any of those kinds of influences other than I just want to win.
Yeah.
Just be good at what you're doing. And
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad they never like pushed me to do anything like that. My dad played sports growing up, but he played softball in a softball league when I was a kid, but it's the only time I ever really saw him play sports, but I just wanted to win. Even before I could I'd like practiced before I ever even actually played, because my parents never signed me up until I was in like 2nd grade playing baseball. but I'd practice in the front yard. I don't know. I just started doing
like
it.
that.
Mm-hmm.
That was someone the other day was saying that it was I think it was a surfer who was like the best at everything. When he was growing up, he was like, well, I would ask to be able to try to practice something because I would see the people that like I looked up to doing it. So before I ever tried it, I went and practiced and got really good at it and pretended I'd never done it before. I was like, that's funny.
Nice.
Suckers.
I remember playing. We had a group of kids or whatever in the neighborhood, but the kids we played with most of the time were right across the street. And there was my brother's 2 years younger than me, and then they had a son that was the same age as my brother, and then one that was like right in between us. But the one that was right in between us was like really good at all the sports, and I wanted to win so bad, and I knew like I couldn't keep up with him quite as much.
Yeah.
So I would only play the game if I could be paired with Brandon. My brother and Shane were paired together. Other than that, I wouldn't play because I'm like,
No.
nah, there's no chance we're gonna win.
Nah, dude. I'm playing with
That
a
was
scrub.
like before
Yeah.
organized sports when you're just playing like football and baseball and all stuff in the
Yeah.
backyard and flashlight tag and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not
Nah,
playing unless I
I'm
get
not
partnered with a
interested.
good person.
I remember playing like in the front yard by myself football for hours, like tossing the ball to myself, running under and catching
Yeah.
it like for hours.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now that doesn't happen. Like kids are on phones and stuff like that.
That's
Yeah.
so
Oh,
great.
yeah.
That's so sad.
I mean, it would be 8 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, it'd be pitch black, but I'd turn on the front yard lights and throw a football
Absolutely.
to
How old
myself.
were
Yeah.
you think?
Anywhere till like 7th grade.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
8th grade.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
But-
all we ever did.
The crazy thing though is like, so we're all sitting in this room and we're laughing because like we all did like weird similar things like that. That's not normal. Just so you guys know, like
No.
I don't think most people were out throwing themselves a football or strategizing at a very young age to like, or was like, nah, I'll win everything.
When we
Yeah.
lived in a subdivision, my neighbor had holes in their vinyl because I would just hit a baseball off of a tee. It would smash into the walls and just holes, not, it wouldn't knock the vinyl out, but it would there'd be a crack of a hole. I mean, there was probably 50 of them. I was like, there's no way they sold that
I was
house.
gonna
Like,
say, did they know?
Yeah.
Did they ever yell at you?
no, my dad did it several times, but it didn't stop.
Were you like, ha ha
It's
ha?
like, yeah, sure, I'll use a tennis ball.
My brothers are just a year and a half younger than me, and they're both really athletic. And so the three of us we had lots of guys in the neighborhood, and it was always the three of us. And
Yeah.
we even recruited one other kid one time and went and played a private Christian school. They had a basketball team and they needed some more games. And we got somebody else to go up and we played them 4-on-5.
Nice.
Oh,
And it was
nice.
like, man, we clobbered them. It was
One
kind
less
of
person.
a goofy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was all about competing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think that, here's the crazy thing, like, do you think, are there enough kids that are still hardwired to want to be the best at once they figure out, this is a sport, I like this, I'll sacrifice these other things to be that? Or do you think that because of the, I don't want to call it epidemic, it's technology, the phone technology nowadays,
Yeah.
that sports will decline? Because there's other technology that makes you better at sports, I suppose, like better, I don't even know what. But do you think sports will decline with the onset of more and more technology and kids playing that instead of doing these things when
I
they're
think
young?
so for sure. I think there's definitely that's a problem that we're gonna see. I mean, you're already seeing people specialize in one sport instead of playing multiple sports, which is kind of lame. But yeah, I mean, it's scary to think about that. I mean, because there's so much that I learned from playing organized sports that if that goes away, or people aren't. I mean, you can't work with a team. You can't work with other people.
Yeah.
If you're always by yourself. I mean, you were seeing kids with social issues already because all they do is sit on a computer or whatever, and they don't, go out and talk to people. That's the app. I got that app that limits
Yeah.
my social media to 15 minutes a day, and then
Yeah.
I can't access it. So
Well, it's also, though, that, one of the biggest parallels, and you see businesses also actively seek out people that were like ex-athletes because you've worked at something so, like, you know how hard you can work at something and stay focused and work on it, and you have that work ethic. Like, sometimes that can be intangible. Yes, you can train a work ethic, but if you find someone who has that intangible aspect of drive that you saw stem from sports, you know that they can put their head down and do
Right.
what's asked of them if they need to, which is a big, but you cultivate that over
Right.
lots and
Yeah.
lots of time and lots of effort.
Environment's important.
Yeah.
It's really, really important. As we connect more and more to AI, to artificial intelligence, it really robs the freedom and the humanness of who we are. you know, and the sports piece is huge.
Yep.
I could not believe the other day. I seriously did not know that there are people playing video games and making millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Professional
I didn't know that.
video gamers. Yeah. Oh,
Really?
Yeah. Huge.
They're saying that
Yeah.
that's going to be in the Olympics.
No.
Straight up. The
How is
next
that a
Olympics
thing?
is going to
How
have
do you-
video
that
games.
seems-
I quit.
Well, I don't know. That's weird.
For the second time today.
Rick just quit a couple times today.
It was Sports Center or something. And it wasn't like fake news or
Jeez.
some random Facebook thing. It was
That's
like,
wild.
I had no idea that there are millionaire kids.
Fact check it.
Yeah.
Olympics video games.
Oh yeah,
Video
we need
games
to
in the
see
Olympics.
that. What stresses me out
You
is
didn't
for
do
the
the
spine.
signal, so I didn't know what to do.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast and the guy was like, yeah, there's, maybe it was Rogan, I can't remember, but the kid lives up the street from him in
Yeah,
this
they make millions.
exclusive neighborhood. He's
A gamer.
a gamer.
That's weird.
Makes all this money.
Ooh,
I shouldn't say weird,
2024 Summer Olympics will include video games.
No way! But how is that like how? What's the Olympic
That's
A and
just
B standard for
ridiculous.
video
Yeah.
games?
That's not a
Is
sport.
it a game? Like how do they
Probably
choose?
be Call of Duty or Madden or something like
How
that.
does that even? Wow, that company.
Actually, I
They're
don't know.
considering adding esports
Oh, esports.
Wow.
in an attempt to attract younger viewers.
That's how. But how do you watch people play video games? Isn't
It's
that weird?
You
ridiculous.
watch the screen?
That's
So-
but like people do it though. They log in. They
Oh,
watch.
people love watching
What?
other people play video
That's
games.
unreal.
Again, when I was younger and everyone was playing video games and I sucked at
I
it.
am terrible
like,
at video
yeah,
games.
but I actually like back then I liked watching people be good at them. But then when I like try to do it, I just didn't
Just
want
get
to like
killed every
for some
time they
reason
spawn.
like I'm competitive, but when it comes to video games, I'm like if I'm not good at it, like
I
I
don't
just
wanna
didn't
do it.
care.
Yeah.
Except for like Mario Kart or like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I hate playing
I guess
video games.
2024
All my buddies would play Halo, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I didn't
I did
didn't
like
have
Halo.
an Xbox, so the only time I'd play is when I was with them, and I would just get slaughtered. So I was like,
Yeah,
this,
and then you're like it's not even fun.
this sucks.
In my day, they didn't have
My
games
day.
on tape.
Atari?
So, yeah,
Didn't you have Pong?
they didn't have video
No, he
games.
played
on-
tic-tac-toe.
No, we did have. What did we have? I was there for Pac-Man,
Okay.
Joust.
Starship Galactica.
I don't remember that one. I remember Galaga. I loved
Oh,
that one.
that's what I was trying to say. I don't even know what
Go
Starship
down to
is.
Pizza Hut and play. There was actually arcades in my
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
There was an arcade here.
Was there?
Yeah, when we first.
You had to put quarters in there, stand
Up
in front
until
of the
high
machine.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Wow.
Man.
That's time.
That's it. That's a wrap.
Wow, Elly laughs.
It's a wrap.
No.
Yeah.
What episode was this?
47.
47. Check out RP Strength, Trifecta, good food, templates for your diet, and CrossFitMayhem.com. Got Mayhem Mindset launched
Boom.
for
Yeah.
the test group.
Test groups out there. We start on Thursday,
Oh yeah.
Thursday.
working everybody through it, and then probably in about 5 weeks we'll start another open enrollment and get everybody involved.
Yay.
Awesome. Cool. CrossFitMayhem.com, MayhemMindset.com.
Sure.
There we go.
That works.
Sure.
Peace.